Adequate notice of the October 9th, 2025 meeting of the Township Committee has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting written notice and agenda of the meeting on a bulletin board in the Municipal Building, 1000 Route 10, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing such notice to the following newspapers: Morris County Daily Record, the Star Ledger, Hanover Eagle, and by filing the same with the Township Clerk.
Committeeman Cahill is excused this evening. Committeeman Faramosca.
Here.
Committeeman Francioli.
Here.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Here.
And Mayor Gallagher.
Here.
4 members in attendance.
If you would, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for our prayer led by Deputy Mayor Mike Mahalko. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, please watch over and guide this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding to help make the best decisions for our residents. Please bless our first responders and township volunteers who help keep us all safe. Also, bless our township employees and residents. Lastly, please let us pray for the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who stand vigil over us always. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mike.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin tonight's meeting with 2 letters of communication. First letter is from Corey Pauls, resigning from his position from the Public Works Department effective October 17, 2025. Second is a letter from Alicia Simone, resigning from her position as Deputy Court Administrator for the Violations Department effective October 31st, 2025. May I have a motion to accept both letters, please?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Next, we have the approval of the Township Committee meeting minutes of September 11th, 2025. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. And next on the agenda, we have the public hearing and adoption of ordinance number 24-2025. Proof of publication that ordinance 24-2025 and its notice of introduction appeared in the September 17th issue of the Daily Record. I'd like to state for the record that ordinance 24-2025 is a land use ordinance, and this ordinance was sent to the Morris County Planning and Preservation Office as required by the municipal land use law. This ordinance was also sent to the 5 contiguous municipalities as also required by law. Ordinance 2020-24-2025 was also referred to the Planning Board for their recommendation. In a letter dated September 16, 2025, the referral stated that if ordinance 24-2025 is adopted, it would amend the development standards for multifamily residential development in the B-P2 zone, located in the intersection of Parsippany Road and Whippany Road. The current standards are based upon the earlier concept. Subsequently, the township, as part of the 3rd round affordable housing court settlement, agreed to permit a different housing development. But before the regulations could be amended, the development was approved by the Board of Adjustment. The development now has been built and is occupied. The Planning Board also determined that ordinance 24-2025 is substantially consistent with the master plan, since both the land use plan and the housing plan elements recognize the 3rd round housing settlement. Both the land use plan and the Planning Board's re-examination report recommended amending the zoning regulation to better match the approval of the development. At this time, may I have a motion to convene the public hearing on ordinance number 24-2025?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to be heard concerning ordinance 24-2025? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, hearing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now on adoption, may I have a motion to please adopt ordinance number 24-2025?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second?
On roll call,
For that. I'm sorry.
Committeeman Faramosca,
Aye.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli,
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko,
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So adopted. Next on the agenda, we will introduce ordinance number 25-2025, 26-2025, and 27-2025. Ordinance 25-2025 is an ordinance of the Township of Hanover, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 300 from the Township Code entitled Nuisances, in order to affirm the township's intolerance of bullying and harassment in all forms. Ordinance 26-2025, an ordinance of the Township of Hanover, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, creating Chapter 175 of the Township Code entitled Electric Bicycles and Scooters, in order to regulate certain electric bicycles and scooters within the township. Ordinance number 27-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee, Township Committee of the Township of Hanover in the County of Morris and State of New Jersey, authorizing the replacement of the 2 existing Galaxy boilers and 2 pumps in the Whippinong Library with the installation of 2 new Pureless boilers and 2 new pumps, and further authorizing the appropriation of $50,000 from the unallocated portion of the 2025 Capital Improvement Fund and all prior years for the financing of this improvement. I'd like to state for the record that all 3 ordinances and their respective notice of introduction will be placed in full in the daily record in accordance with law. The public hearing is scheduled for October 23rd, 6 p.m. Is that what we decided? At 6 p.m. If any other member of the public would like to be heard regarding these ordinances, they will be given the opportunity to do so that evening. May I please have a motion to introduce ordinances 25, 26, and 27?
Chris, I'd like to move, and I would also like to make 2 comments.
Sure.
For 25 and 26, if I could. Number 25 is very important, because when I was on the Board of Ed with Committeeman Cahill, is when New Jersey had harassment, intimidation, and bullying policy in place. In theory, it was very good, but again, Trenton doesn't know our children as well as we do, and as well as our school districts do. And as we went through the process, it became a very helpful tool, because although you can't regulate behavior through law, you can encourage good behavior through good policy. So Hanover Township, I believe, is at least one of the first municipalities to recognize harassment, intimidation, and bullying. And I don't know if it was because of COVID, when a lot of people stayed in their house for a very long time, but I truly believe nice people got nicer and mean people got meaner. And we have quite a few problems in Hanover Township and our surrounding municipalities regarding behavior and threatening behavior. So I think this is a beautiful, beautiful piece, because Hanover Township is on the forefront working with the Mental Health Association, with symposiums with our schools, with the Sheriff's Department, with the Mayor's Wellness Campaign, and almost any group that wants to work with us to make our residents feel safe, be more confident, and feel stronger, respect themselves, and therefore they're more apt to respect others. So that's a beautiful, beautiful piece that we're putting forth, and I'm very happy about it. The next one is the e-bikes. I'm going to thank Florham Park Mayor Mark Taylor. It may sound as if it's an overstretch to try to regulate e-bikes, but they're a terror out there in the street. And I'm not going to say what city it is or what municipality it is, but this year during a summer concert series, a 2-year-old boy got hit with an e-bike, and he has brain damage. And it was a young person flying through a field, enjoying a concert in his own way on his e-bike flying, and he hurt a 2-year-old boy that has brain damage now. We see the way that people ride on the streets without a lot of regulation and without helmets. The helmets is a very, very big deal. Our PD rewards our youngsters for wearing helmets with gift cards, I believe, to 7-Eleven and different places in town. But I think we all have to work a little harder, because one accident hit one pothole and it can change a family's life forever, not just that young person on it. And the last point is, it is being looked at by the county and the state, because when we were younger, and I don't want to date myself, when you had a moped, and we couldn't afford them, but you had to get licensed, you had to get insurance, and you had to pay attention to regulations in order to ride that moped. So again, I'm going to say this is a beautiful, beautiful piece, and I want to thank, in public, Florham Park Mayor Mark Taylor for jumping on this, putting together a beautiful piece that we took and used as our model. We adjusted it a little bit. I hope it's adjusted enough so we can all call Mark tomorrow and tell him that ours is a little bit better, but we got to A-B it. But Krista, those are my comments, and thank you very much, and thank you, everybody.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
And to piggyback some of the mayor's comments or something, I was at a meeting last night with, part of my committee had neighbors who lived in the upper portions of Mountain Road. And we have a couple of neighbors up there that want Spruce Street buttressed at the very end of the cul-de-sac where the paths to the schools are concerned, right? Because several of those neighbors said they were almost knocked down by motorbikes and trikes for the kids that come racing through there. So to hear that firsthand right here in our town, yeah, we've got a real problem.
And the last thing is the prosecutor's office is working on an educational piece that they're going to be distributing, and most of the school systems are going to take that educational piece very seriously, share it with their students, and share it with their students' families through the e-backpack. So it's going to be all hands on deck, and we all have to work together because anything can happen at any time, and if we can do something to at least make it less likely, I think that's what we should do, but that's my opinion. Krista, that's all.
Thank you. Okay, so we had a motion, we had a second. I'm going to do roll call, please. Committeeman Faramasco.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So introduced. Next is the resolutions as a consent agenda, 194-2025 through 203-2025. Does any member of the governing body have any questions regarding any of the resolutions present on this agenda?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, Committeeman Faramasca.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Committeeman Mahalko.
Yes.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So approved, thank you. Next, we have to pay our bills in the amount of $6,303,454.53. John, can we pay our
Make a motion to pay
bills?
the bills.
John, you pay them, your money now. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, paying the bills. And next, we have raffle applications, RL 3497 Mountview Road School 50/50, RL 3498 Hanover Rotary Club Tricky Tray, RL 3499 is also a Hanover Rotary Club additional prizes, RL 3500 Salem Salam Shriners Bingo, and RL 3501 Whippany Park High School PTO calendar raffle. May I have a motion to accept the raffle applications?
So moved?
May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor and the members of the committee, that clears the agenda, and I thank you very much, and sorry I was a little tongue-tied tonight.
Thank you very much. Well, it's because of
Appreciate
your Yankee loss last night. We're going to give you a little bit of a slack.
I appreciate that, thank you, putting it out there in public.
Okay, other business. John, you have anything for the public?
Yeah, I'll be quick on it. Tonight, it's all about the E's. We'll begin with Environmental and Green Team. The Environmental and Green Team held a very successful Free Paper Shred Day event. At that event, they collected over 2 tons of sensitive materials and some, just paper. It was all shredded, environmentally responsible, getting out of the waste stream. So kudos to them. They also importantly raised 500 pounds of food, which went to the Interfaith Food Bank along with donations. So good job, Environmental and Green Team. Next one up is EDAC. Our EDAC group, they had a very, very well-attended local business networking event. That was last evening. That was held at a facility called All Seasons Golf, which is located at the Cedar Knolls Mall. And at that facility, we were able to host close to 100 people, came in, interacted with one another, and talked about Hanover, what Hanover was doing, and how they might be able to improve their businesses in Hanover. So it was very well done, and we thank EDAC for coordinating that, and a special shout out to All Seasons Golf for hosting that event. Engineering. Engineering is in the process of finishing key roadways in this town, major roadways. And the major roadway that was just completed was Poplar and the top portion of Countrywood. Very difficult reconstruct job. This was no simple grind it up and pave it. So that's been completed, good news, and we're now anxiously awaiting Algonquin Parkway and Horse Hills Road, and hoping that the weather cooperates so that we can continue to improve our roadways in this town. The last one is an appeal for support for something we call near and dear Operation Streetlight. Operation Streetlight is all about safety. Safety is important, especially as we're walking now. It's getting darker. It's the fall. And when you're out there walking and you see street lamps that are out, please go to the JCP&L website and please go to the link. It's very easy. List and report what you see. It's as simple as the address, and there's a number on each one of those poles, and it'll make a big difference in terms of improving safety in your immediate area. Mayor, that concludes my remarks.
Thank you, John. Ron, you got anything?
Very good, John. By the way, second, the idea on the EDAC networking meeting that was held last evening. That was very, very successful, and kudos to all that participated in that. Had Morristown Airport there, had many of our local real estate, banking businesses, et cetera, and a lot of new faces that I saw. So great job. Let's keep it up on there, too. From the Board of Health standpoint, everything seems to be in order. We've reached out once again to Dr. Zach Mendelson from Laser Vision, who is agreeable to once again putting on an eye clinic for us. Perhaps we'll do something this spring. And our seniors took advantage of that last year. It was very successful, and it's an opportunity with no cost to the seniors to take an examination like that and head off any potential problems beyond that. Our Stony Brook Farm and Garden is doing well. We closed out a great season. That garden, too, provided 800 pounds of vegetables to the Interfaith Food Pantry. We're expanding the garden presently. Administrator advises me that we do have approvals from JCP&L underneath their power lines to continue the expansion. The expansion will give us an opportunity to double the size of the garden. Not that we have immediate use for it, but right now, 100% of the garden beds that we now have are sold out. So coming into next year, we want an opportunity to give everyone a chance to own a garden. If you are an apartment dweller, and we have many of them coming into town, if you're a condo owner and you don't have the ability to have a backyard where you can have your own vegetable garden, you can contact us at through Recreation and get details on getting your own garden right here at Stony Brook, and it's a great opportunity for you. Morristown Airport, Corey informs me that all of the nuisance work of getting the runways repaved, et cetera, is complete. We're happy about that. It was fortunate that we had a lot of complaints through the summer with overflights because of changes of runways while they did the repaving on there. I might remind us, too, from a greedy standpoint, Morristown Airport is probably our second largest taxpayer in Hanover Township. Transportation Committee on the county level, we're meeting once again. Our focus is on Route 24, Park Avenue and Columbia Turnpike intersection. That's been approved for funding by the state. We're still waiting for the state to sign off on that before we can get going. But, Mr. Mayor, that's my update for now.
Thank you, Ron. Michael Mahalko.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. Just a couple things going on. For you guys that are here tonight, hopefully you notice we have new art in the hall. We have a new display going on. Very nice artwork if you get a chance. Anytime the business hours of the building, they're open, so anybody's welcome to stop by and take a look. Seniors, we have a senior luncheon coming up. It's the 55-year anniversary of our senior club. That's coming up, so if you're of age, you are welcome to go, although you better hurry up. Contact Recreation real quick because it's coming up on the 15th. So it's coming up quick. Construction on the splash pad has begun. That should be complete hopefully by the winter time. We're crossing our fingers. And then it'll definitely be ready for next season. We have a new project that'll be starting soon. The Central Park Rink will be starting at the end of the month. We have a date of the, what do we say, the 27th, right, Chair?
October 27th is,
Yeah, October 27th, they're going to begin the construction on the Central Park rink. And just so you, fill you in on what that is, it'll be a rollerblading area that will have a lip, and we can flood it with water when it gets cold, and then you'll be able to skate on it when it freezes. If you guys are familiar with Central Park, we used to have a rough area there that we flood and it would freeze, but it would take a while because it was dirt, it was ground, so the water would sink in, we'd have to flood it, wait for it to freeze. It would take a couple flooding sessions to really get a good ice. But now we'll be able to flood this rink, freeze overnight, skate on it the next day. When it warms up, pull the plug, let it drain out, and we can go back to rollerblading on it. It'll also give us a nice flat area where we can have craft fairs or garage sales or any other, rather than tying up one of our parking lots like we often do now. So it'll give us another area that we can have some events in. Mark your calendars again. Masquerade at Malapartis Park, Saturday, the 25th, 2 to 4 o'clock. Youngsters come out, get some candy, go trick-or-treating around the park. It's a really wonderful event. All of our local clubs have a booth and distribute candy. So anybody's welcome to come out and check that out. Whether we realize it or not, this is the last public meeting we'll have before the election next month. So I want to wish our 2 committeemen that are running good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service. You guys have been doing a great job, and we wish you the best with the election coming up. But also remind everyone, get out and vote. It's important to vote. You guys come, you yell at us over different items, and a lot of it's out of our hands, specifically the high-density housing. That is imposed on us, and there are 2 candidates, and they have 2 polar opposite opinions on this. But again, get out and vote. It's coming up.
Thank you, Mike.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Just one quick update. There's a lot going on in Hanover Township, and I'm sure most of the people know about some of our big battles and some of our big initiatives. And I'm not going to go into too much detail tonight, but the most important detail that I have for tonight is this one. I referred before to the Mental Health Association and the work we're doing with our schools, our families, and putting quite a bit of emphasis on understanding our aging family members, because it's very, very difficult. And we all go through it. But there's a very big event this Saturday. It's called Out of the Darkness Community Walks. And this is a very important initiative for Hanover Township because we have a family in Hanover Township that lost one of their family members. And I'm asking whoever would like to walk with us to please join Team Brandy for the Morris County Walk, Saturday, October 11th, 2025, Cougar Field in Chatham. Check-in is at 4 p.m. The event time starts at 5 p.m., and this walk is in memory of Brandy Engelberger and her family. We do quite a bit in Hanover Township with suicide, and we never use the term suicide prevention because you never want a family to think they could have done something to prevent it. But you can try and work very, very hard to understand some of the telltale signs that somebody is struggling. But when we work with it, it's usually for 10 to 14-day stints. And at the end of that, I will always go home and say, I'm glad that's over because it's dark and it's sad and it's heartbreaking. Well, a lot of families don't get to go home after 10 to 14 days and shut it off for 6 months. So it is real. This is a beautiful family that had a tragedy, and we're standing and walking in lockstep with this beautiful family. And if anybody would like to join us, please join us. You could walk with me and any of the people that I'm going to be there with. And that's all I got for my public comments, guys. And I have one request. I see we have one of our scouts back there. Sir, the next agenda item is public comment. So I'm going to invite you to sit where Committeeman Cahill sits and get to see what we see, get to hear what we hear, and enjoy our community on a different level. So let me get you a chair. Please come up. You got it, Mike?
come on, Stalker, get up here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Guys, should we ask our scout to have a public comment? Would you like to address the public?
We don't have to put you on the spot.
Hi, my name is Will Stocker. I'm a Boy Scout from Troop 155, based from the American Legion, Post 155, and I'm just here. I'm here to complete a requirement for my scouting journey.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming out.
Okay. You ready? Okay, here we go. I'd like a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
floor is
All in
open.
favor? Okay, if anyone would like to address the governing body, please step up to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 4 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are you? This is Lindsay Holleran. I know I'm no longer a resident at the Red Carpet, but I still do outreach work. I have started for Ms. Bard bringing food every Thursday to the residents there. And apparently NIAC does not want the residents that are in need of food, toiletries and other necessities and outreach. He doesn't want them receiving that. I got a police call today from a police officer, and I know for a fact the police did not want to call me about this and tell me that I'm trespassed. And if I show up there on the property again, obviously I'm arrested. And when I come there, I'm ultimately just bringing food to the people that have asked me to bring it to them and signed up for the service, and then I leave. I would like to have a resolution in lieu of that, because regardless, food insecurity is a big thing over there. Hygiene and other essentials are big insecurities over there. Personally, me, the people that are behind this pushing NIAC, they have been trying to receive my address to still harass me. And if I was to, let's say, show up there and be like, oh, well, screw this, I'm gonna go, then obviously I would get arrested, which would generate a police report, which they could Oprah request and then get my home address. I'm not stupid. So I was thinking, because I'm worried now about Terry, Ms. Bard, that if she starts coming over there, that she'll be next with us, that maybe on Thursdays when I pick up for the families at Table of Hope, if I could drop off at least to the Hanover Police Department, and maybe the police officers could bring over the food over there, or maybe if they escort me over there to bring the food to the residents that are in need of it, and the resources. Even though they have a whole plethora of resources, that they're still at hand, they're still new to it, they're still scared of it. Being homeless is so traumatizing. And, I know you guys know this, especially from me. It took a lot of work just for the 19th of me explaining nobody's coming to hand you out flyers. So, and I know a lot of the residents there, they don't have working cell phones, and there's no phones in the room. So they can't pick up the phone because these workers that they're connected with are busy trying to do their job. So then they contact me with all the questions, and I clarify with them for answers or find and at least establish resolution. I'm the go-between between the homeless clients and OTA when there's, a lack in their workers. I have a couple people that I speak with. I don't want to say work with because I don't have a job doing this, but that I have built a professional relationship with, that I can go there and be like, okay, well, this client is having a problem with X, Y, and Z worker. And by them doing that, it is preventing me from helping these clients get out of this place and even connecting them to mental health sources. So I was coming to you guys with a resolution, and the only thing that I could think of is to bring the food already bagged and boxed with the room numbers, already let the residents, I could let the residents know, be out back at 2 o'clock with your room number, and the police will give it to them, because that's the only thing that I can think of, or have an escort, because when I am there, I am not bothering nobody, I am not going in buildings, I am there speaking with and conversing with the people that have asked to come.
What we'll do is, we have Robert. Robert, if you could talk to Fred and maybe the chief. Thank you for saying that, duly noted, and we will look into that.
The one thing I'll say, Lindsay, is I think it's a great idea. I think the issue will be the township also won't have permissions that a private person wouldn't have. And so maybe there could be some kind of compromise where a separate place is set up, where, a meeting place or something.
The problem is they don't have vehicles.
Yep.
And that's the problem. And, thank you, and that is a great point that you bring up. But if NIAC want to bring the police into it, which he did by saying he doesn't want me there, and the police come to him with a resolution, then he is outright stopping people from ending their homelessness and their hunger, because it's children here too.
We'll see what we can do to find a compromise on that.
And also, by the way, please don't talk bad about the Yankees. What did your team do this year?
What was that? I can't hear you.
He likes to.
Oh.
No, he's good, he's good. He just,
Okay.
yeah, he was just
Okay.
making it bad
I
on me.
miss you guys. I do miss you guys, and you might see me on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
I'm only a town away, guys.
Brian Cahill periodically jokes that we're a couple years away from yelling "Get off my lawn." And last night I was watching the Yankee game, and I can't believe how many strikes they watched. I was in my house yelling, "Swing the bat." If you swing the bat, you could probably hit the ball sometimes, but I'm not an athletic guy.
Okay, move on. That's fine.
It's an open wound.
Sometimes.
It's just throwing salt in the
Open
wound,
wound,
that's all.
it's rubbing salt into an open wound, is not nice.
Appreciate that.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me, or you need my outdoor voice?
Krista, can you turn that mic up a little bit?
It's on, just adjust it.
It's just adjust.
Hello?
Oh, that's good.
The little switch. Good evening, everyone. Terry Baird, Whippany section of Hanover Township. First, I would like to thank the mayor for taking the lead in helping with the people at the assorted hotels here in town. Because I've been barking for 2 years, and he's finally able to get all the people in the right place in the room to get things moving along, to help the people there get actual housing and overcome the hurdles to the housing that bureaucracy has really put in their place, in their way. So I really, because it seems like, all this time, all these years, nothing seemed to have been able to be done, but it takes somebody, one person, to actually take that lead, and that's you, Ace. You took that lead, and I really appreciate it. Sorry, the suicide thing's got me a little messed up. In reference to the hotel, I'm a proxy for Table of Hope to take food over there every Thursday, and because of medical problems in my family with my daughter and stuff, Lindsay's been in my stead to go there to deliver to particular families, and it's for particular families. They're all signed up, registered with Table of Hope to receive the food and everything like that. There's all official paperwork and all that stuff that goes along with it. And, my fear is that now, because I've been going there for such a long time, that I'll be next to be trespassed from the place. I mean, I've got 3 cases of toiletries in the back of my truck right now that I was, hoping to take over there to tomorrow. I don't usually just take it over just to anybody. I do reach out to people and have them come out to me. I never go in the hotel. So I am like going there for particular people. And that's how I've always been my entire time. I don't just go and like, just dole stuff out of the back of my truck. I'm not like that. I like organization. So, you know, my fear is that I will be trespassed as well because of going over there and trying to help the people, again, try to get out of the hotel and into housing. I weekly have been in touch with everybody that I have phone numbers with and contacting them, and the people that are involved in this transition, and I'll call it a transition because it's not an easy hurdle to overcome, and there's a lot of many moving parts from the state on down to the town, that the people are so appreciative. You can't imagine the emotion that's coming from these people to me through many phone conversations and text messages as I'm checking up on them to make sure the process is moving along and that they're not having a hurdle that they can't overcome, or direct them to the right place so that they can get the help that they need to get to that next place. A lot of it has to do with paperwork, Social Security cards, birth certificates. A lot of these things are all lost when people are homeless. They lose all their necessary paperwork. They lose everything. You know, it's in a storage facility, they can't pay the storage facility, everything's gone. So I appreciate everything that the town is doing, and, you know, if it wasn't for you, Ace, this stuff wouldn't be moving along. And a lot of people, hopefully at the end of this journey, will finally be able to rest their heads on a bed. Thank you.
Terry, I just want to say thank you, and I'm typically better at when somebody's giving me a hard time than saying something nice, but I want to thank you. If it wasn't for you beating this drum meeting after meeting after meeting, I wouldn't have explored it the way I did, and I think if we didn't have Senator Panaccio open a lot of doors for us, I know we wouldn't be where we are today. Senator Panaccio, I always say Sheriff James Gannon is Hanover Township's big brother. Senator Panaccio is now Hanover Township's big brother. And we've been on the phone 7 days a week, I think 44 days now, with the state, all different groups from the state. And we have plenty of big meetings coming up, another one tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And I'm going to thank you. I'm going to thank Senator Panaccio. And we have an incredible team here with Krista DeGiorgio and Chief Locke. I mean, we're together all the time, and we're working very hard. And Dean Martin said, the harder you work, the luckier you become. And we're starting to feel like we're getting a little bit of momentum here, and hopefully we're lucky.
And as I said, it really is a team, but there's always got to be the team leader. There's somebody driving the bus. You know, there's somebody, you know, on the seat that's got the, you know, the hump in the back when you get over the big bump in the road and stuff like that, but there's always somebody that has to drive the bus, and you're a great bus driver.
Thank you, Terry, I appreciate that very much. Anyone else?
Motion to close.
I'm going to speak.
Oh, shortly.
Excuse me? Excuse me, can I speak?
Floor is open.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have a question, and it's to the committee. The issue with Forest Way and the road being open one way as opposed to totally open, why are we still discussing this? I was a little bit annoyed when I heard that the discussion had surfaced again, but I became more upset when I listened to a township committee meeting on May 11th of 2023, where the road had already been closed 8.5 months, and there were a handful of people that came and wanted to have it reopened and wanted to explore that. And at that, I would like everybody, if you have time, go back and listen to that committee meeting from May 11th of 2023. It was exactly like Tuesday evening. Everybody, there were the same people were there, same comments were made. Mr. Francioli had explained that to the people that were there, that the town spent 2.5 years exploring, doing this. There were many meetings, there were surveys done, that they met with the transportation department to make sure the busing wouldn't be an issue for the kids. There was so much that was put into this, and it was not an easy decision, and the decision was made as a compromise to go one way. So I thought at that point it was sort of a done deal, and that was the second time that it was brought up to the Township Committee. And the Township Committee, I guess, discussed it and felt that there was no compelling or new information that had come forward that would change that decision. So again, I guess my question is, why is it still surfacing? Is there an end game to this? I just don't understand it, because it's frustrating. I think it's giving false hope to the people that are coming here, that this is going to be reopened again if there is no new or compelling information, or nothing that's coming forward to say, or this has changed, to, change that decision. And I think it's frustrating to the people that were involved in this years ago, put a lot of effort and worked and, with this, and went to all the meetings. And I think it's also frustrating to the people on the street, and not only Forest, but Locust and, a lot of the other streets that are happy with the decision and see a decrease. As a matter of fact, Mrs. Lehman was here on Tuesday, and she said that the traffic on her street, on Poplar, had actually decreased, which was not the consensus that some people were saying. She stood up here and said, I see a decrease in traffic. So I don't understand what has changed that we're still, exploring this. And one other comment I want to make is, when I looked at that, re-looked at the May 11, 2023 Township Committee meeting, Mayor and Mr. Mihalko, I believe you both had said at that meeting that we will continue to monitor and revisit this issue. And I didn't realize that. And I thought to myself, why are we revisiting this issue? Why are we continuing to re-monitor a decision that's already been made by the Township Committee with 2.5 years of a lot of effort, with surveys that were sent out, with meetings, multiple meetings with the engineering department, with a lot of expense by the town to have traffic studies done. Why are we still entertaining this? I guess I need clarification on that.
Okay, is that time up, Kristen?
She has 9 seconds.
You have 9 seconds, and then I'm going to rebut, but it's not...
Well, the last person, I think, had more than me. I wasn't timing, but...
Well, this is a comment and then a response, but it's not a conversation like the other day. The other day was... So here's the answer again, because I made myself very, very clear. For the last year at least, people have been asking me about Forest Way.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I understand what you're saying. My question to you is not the people are coming to you.
No,
I understand, let me finish. I understand the people are coming to you, and they have a right to come to you. Everybody has a right to come to the mayor. I'm asking you why a decision that was made over 3 years ago and was done with no new compelling information, nothing has come forward to change that decision. Are we still revisiting it? Why are you not explaining to these residents, these few handful of people that are coming with an issue of convenience, that this was not a convenience issue, this was done for safety of the community, and that nothing new has changed? If something new changes, come back to us. That's what I don't understand. I'm not complaining or saying that you shouldn't be talking to people. You should be. I'm asking what has changed.
Okay, well, I'm going to answer, and now this is my time. My job is to represent 14,700 people, and even the businesses during the day. And what I do is when somebody comes up to me and has a concern, whether I agree with them or not, I give them the time of day. Right or wrong, I give them the time of day. I agreed to talk to 2 or 3 people 7 months ago that had concerns about Forest Way and the one-way. We were going to have a sit-down in Town Hall. It got postponed. It was going to be a nice conversation. Then Sunday or Monday, it broke in Hanover Township that Gallagher was announcing Tuesday at 3:30 he was going to be closing down Forest Way. I had about 35 phone calls on Monday night from a church hall in town. I can't close Forest Way. You don't have the authority. I can't believe you're going to do this. All of a sudden, all the town phones were lighting up everybody wanted to, quote, come to the big meeting. It wasn't a meeting, it was a conversation. I have conversations with people 6 days a week in this position, sometimes 7. So where we were going to have a nice meeting where residents get to voice their concerns, which they do all day, every day to every one of us, because we are in the community. We're not professionals that go home at night 4 towns away. We live here, a lot of us work here, and this is our town, and we're honored to serve on this level. I even had a phone call saying, well, I'm not coming if you're going to have opposing views on this road closure. I said, why didn't you invite me? I said, I didn't invite anybody. The reason people are coming is because they're aggravated because they were told that I was closing Forest Way, and I said it was a terrible, terrible, terrible rumor that upset people, and I believe was an attempt to hurt me and put me on defense. So we had a conversation the other day, which I will do again. Now, listen, I know you're not satisfied with this answer, but the point is, if I got a call with somebody with a concern tomorrow, I would call them back. And many, many people that were at that meeting, including you, I reached out and said, do you have any more concerns? Is there anything else you would like to talk about? So as far as me having a meeting, that's my prerogative. And as far as me having a meeting here and look at information that concerns of any resident has, that's actually my job.
Okay, let me just say, you need to go back and listen to my question, because that's not what I asked you. You went through this whole big thing, and maybe I didn't articulate. Let me finish. I asked why, since nothing has changed and a decision was made 3.5 years ago, is this being still entertained? At what point does the town say, we have done this, it's been litigated, we made a decision, nothing new has changed? That was my question. I didn't ask about the meeting on Tuesday.
Are you familiar with Lindsay Road and Florham Park?
No, I'm not.
Okay, Lindsay Road and Florham Park was a one-way for about 30 years. They decided at one point, you know what? So many people are cutting through that shouldn't. It's creating traffic in other areas. Let's just widen it and open it up, and now there hasn't been a problem since 1985 when they made Lindsay Road, and Bill Byrne knows Lindsay Road and Inslee Road and Florham Park. In Livingston, are you familiar with Brooklawn?
You know what?
Brooklawn
I'm
Road
not.
in Livingston was a project for my father-in-law when he was a traffic sergeant. They made it one way during drop-off and pick up to a school system. When you make any decision, you have to also be able to look at it, evaluate it, see if anything's changed. And to your answer of your question, I gave it to you today with Joe Giorgio, you asked what has changed. When this was implemented, we had about 40% capacity in the condos that are there. Now they're at 100% capacity.
Good,
So-
good, I'm glad you said that, because that's not a positive for the
Now-
other side. That's a positive
if a
for the side to
resident-
keep it one way and to maybe close it totally.
So if
That's
a
a
resident
positive
comes
for
up to me
our
and
side.
says, I want to talk to you about something that's concerning, should I say, no, I'm not interested in
I'm not
speaking to
asking you that. I'm saying, what are we going to do with this? Is there ever going to be a finality to this? That's what I want to know. I don't know why you're not understanding my question.
I understand
Is
your
this going to be ever a finality? Because I thought there was a legal term that says once something is decided, that you don't go back on that decision, it's not relitigated unless there is new compelling information. Something has changed to make you go back and revisit it. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but the lawyer would know. It would be,
Can I jump in a second?
sure.
Now, I wasn't at the meeting, and,
Conversation.
I'm not talking about that meeting. I just want to know, when's it going to be
Mayor's talking
done?
now.
well, we're not, you had a conversation with some residents. It has not been on our agenda. We're not addressing this again for exactly the same reason you're saying.
Thank you.
So no new information has been brought to us,
Thank you.
not to me at least. And if it does, then we will look at it, we will examine it, and as we should with anything, we
Yes.
should periodically look at it.
I agree with that.
The mayor agreeing to meet with somebody, that, again, he should, even if it is a dead issue. But
I totally agree with that,
So
with
then-
you. I'm just saying, I think by revisiting this all the time, so it's a dead issue right now, unless there's newer compelling information that comes forward. That's what I wanted to clarify. That's all I'm asking.
Again, it's not been brought to the committee.
Okay.
Engineering, I don't think there's anything
Okay.
so this is not, he heard the comments from residents.
Okay, that's all I wanted to find out, that as of now, this is still a dead issue, there's not being revisited because your understanding is there is no new information that's come forward. to reopen this. And it's not a convenience issue. It was never convenience, it was safety only.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my understanding of it at this point.
Okay, that's what I just want, that was
Not
what I wanted to
agenda item.
clarify.
You know, the mayor had a...
I don't know, I'm not, we've already discussed that Tuesday meeting. I wasn't even discussing that.
We do have to move on because...
I'm
we have a
done.
4-minute limit.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to be heard? Yes. State your name, address, and please take 4 minutes.
Sure. Hi, Mary Jacobowski, 5 Cedar
Oh, can
Run.
you speak into the mic?
Yeah, tilt it
Oh.
up.
Hello, Mary
perfect.
Jacobowski, 5 Cedar Run, in Cedar Knolls, obviously. I wanted to, first of all, thank Mr. Gallagher for listening to, I had reached out to Mr. Gallagher about the closure on American Road in Forest. I live on Cedar Run, so obviously you would think this is an inconvenience for me, and that is not why I brought it forward. I wanted to talk about it and see if this is something that can be looked at. I think when we made the decision, there wasn't enough data at the time, and the big concern was driven by the new condos coming in. And I think that the condos are occupied, and I also feel that if safety's an issue, let's address safety. Closing a road in one direction that has created traffic all around Cedar Knolls is really something that has to be re-looked at. So I am requesting that the town re-evaluate this in the best way possible, because it is not fair to the people on Apple Tree, on Countrywood, on Manger, or on McNabb, that they are now dealing with all this through traffic. So I think I'm asking for the town to revisit this and look at the data. And I think if we have a safety issue, I think the safety needs to be addressed. And I did hear Mrs. Allen speaking last, when we talked, tried to talk on Tuesday about safety of her grandchildren. And I believe that safety is important. I work for a company that safety is the #1 part of our strategy. And I feel that the grandchildren of every resident in this town is important. So I think that the children on Manger, on McNabb, on Apple, and Countrywood are just as important. So I bring this forward. I would like the town to reevaluate it, as it has become a problem for everyone to come through the other areas. Ridgedale Avenue, Hanover Avenue, Horse Hill Road are very dangerous with all this traffic now. And first and foremost, I want to thank you, Mr. Gallagher, for listening, because that was really the intent of my reach out and my husband. We just wanted to talk about it. And it's not because we live on Cedar Run, it's because we live in Cedar Knolls. Thank you.
And thank you, and not only am I available all the time to talk to you, the entire governing body is available to talk to anybody about anything, almost any time. And thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Rosemary Randolph, 8 Evergreen Lane, Cedar Knolls. I just want to say ditto to everything that she just said. I don't want to keep everybody, but also to thank you for at least giving some of us who wanted to speak about it an opportunity to try to sit down and have a calm talk about our concerns for the neighborhood and the one-way out. And yes, some people do have a convenience issue, some other people have a safety issue. I agree with her that all of the other traffic on the streets, I can't see how it's helping them. But I thank you for at least listening to our concerns and giving us an opportunity to try to speak. And unfortunately, we were not able to have a calm meeting and explain to you what our concerns were completely, because it ended up just into another screaming match. But I think maybe she might be right. There are so many new residents in the development, so many of the houses have sold, so many of the new people who live there are not aware of the past of all of the things that have happened, didn't know about all of this. And I think maybe it is time to take another survey, not a traffic survey, but a residential survey of a lot of people over in Cedar Knolls and see really what they think of it. Not only Forest Way and the cul-de-sacs, but some of the people on Apple Tree, people who are getting the extra traffic on Manger, McNabb, Countrywood, see what they think. And, let's take a look at it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, we're always available to you, any issue. Anyone else?
I just want to clarify something.
You know what, we really can't.
I just would like to clarify.
We really can't because we have to keep it very, very structured. The other day was a conversation, it was very different.
Even though the person that you hired said that the traffic was less, would be more if we opened the road up.
Yeah, we have access to all the traffic studies. John, would you like to say anything before we close out?
I think we spent a significant amount of time, every one of us, trying to determine what is the best possible decision that we can make to protect the entire area of Cedar Knolls, to include Countrywood, to include the area known as Trailwood, to include all of the access roadways. And that was done with a great deal of attention with our engineer, who is a traffic engineer. It was done in consult with our police department. It was done along with our Board of Education in terms of bus routing, because we went into this with what is the best thing that we can do as a result of a change. We're required, many of us sit on another board called the Planning Board. We're required to assess what is the impact of what's going to be built. We can't have the luxury of saying, hey, you know what, Hanover Township, let's see what happens when they build that, and after they build that, we'll make our changes. So I think we were very proactive, we were very strategic. I think the business administrator reached out to over 300 people, which is bigger than Trailwood, and got responses and tabulated the responses, and I'm not going to get into who said what and how many, but I think what was achieved here was an improvement for safety for the entire region based upon the study that was presented, the traffic study. And I think at the end of the day, if there's anything any of the five of us can do, is to stand for safety. And safety is preeminent. And at this point, if somebody wants to talk to me about it, I welcome it. But that's all I can share without going into rehashing 3 meetings, public sessions, numerous meetings with our police department, numerous meetings with our engineer, numerous meetings with a professional traffic study that took place. And I think that at that point in time, we made a difficult decision, and a decision was a compromise. The majority of people who answered the survey, which Mr. Giorgio put out, they wanted it shut down. They wanted the whole road shut down. We felt it would be a good compromise to understand the nature of the problem, and by understanding the nature of the problem, afford a solution that also could be workable. So I thought we achieved a compromise.
Ron or Mike, any comments before we?
I really can't add to what's been said. As John said, the township did its due diligence in many, many ways. For public safety, there was no question about it. And I'm proud of the fact that we tried to do that due diligence in ahead of the development of the project that was taking place. We knew the impact of the project, we knew how many units were going into the project, we knew what the potential traffic off the site would be. And this was the result of all of those studies, was to say the best way to reduce the impact of that was to control the access to American Way from Forest. That having been done, look, My opinion, and I always had it with this committee, is there's nothing cast in bronze. But am I a proponent for reopening this? If there's a public safety issue that has risen because of this, or if there's something that has changed that would make our public safety department re-examine this, I am more than willing to look at that and evaluate whether or not it warrants any further attention to this area. But right now, I'm satisfied with the outcome. Thank you.
Michael?
No, I agree. Enough has been said.
The last thing that I'll end it on is this, and it's a job that we have that is also very interesting in that we have to make calls, very difficult calls. There's a surrounding municipality where there's a street that everybody said there should be a sidewalk, there should be a sidewalk. A 9-year-old girl got killed on her bicycle, and guess what the governing body did 2 months later? They put in a sidewalk. We put in a sidewalk along Reynolds Avenue. It cost us $380,000. It was about 9.5 years ago. People said we were crazy for doing it. However, retired Deputy Chief Steve Bolkar was the top crossing guard. He called me every half a day and told me how many children were walking on that sidewalk. We were up to 220 because the children were no longer going to Mary's Deli, Reynolds Deli, or Joel's back in the 70s. They were walking to Quick Check. We created a new destination, and we created a very safe passage for the children to walk to Quick Check. So we do have to make a lot of tough decisions. However, we were also told not to put the sidewalk there. We were also told that we can spend the money in a better area, and we need to. But we have to make some tough calls sometimes. But you know what? Nobody's perfect, and I'm going to end it here. I am always available to talk to anybody, anytime, and I could say that about everybody on this dais. I don't ask you which side are you on before I agree to take a meeting with you or not. I don't do that. And unfortunately, our meeting the other day became explosive because prior to a very, very good conversation to people, because a lot of us know each other, we know Mary, my daughter grew up with Mary's daughter. She was concerned and wanted to talk to me. I thought that's my job, and she's my friend. However, it was unfortunate that a day and a half before that meeting, it was put out there that Gallagher is going to announce at 3:30 he's closing Forest Way to all traffic. That put me in a very, very bad spot where people were mad and showed up, many, many more than were supposed to come to a very quiet, private conversation about concerns of our residents. So that being said, we good? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Glad you came up.
Good job.
Well done.
Hey, good job. Hey, so you want to do this one day?
How you doing, Steve?
Yeah.